I went shopping. I know. I abandoned everybody on Saturday. It was it was expected, but not, what's the phrase? Expected, but not wanted to happen. But yeah, it had to happen on Friday. And Saturday, in order to kind of get my mind off of all of that, my friend Candace and I decided to go shopping. She needed to get something, like there was like one or two things that she was really interested in getting, and she's like, I need to do some shopping up there. And I'm like, okay. And there was one thing that I needed. One thing that I needed. I was doing so well into our very last shop. So let's go over what I ended up getting. The first shop that we stopped at is the shop that is closest to me, mostly because when we like when we got connected, it was just before 9:30, and a lot of the shops don't open till 10:30 on a Saturday. So we're like, well, if we wanted to go to this one, we're gonna have to sit and wait for a little bit if we want to go here. But this one's open now, so let's start here. And we were looking at some stuff and going through, and in the sale room, I found some fabric, and I was like, I kind of need this. So I got this pineapple fabric, and then, not to be outdone, I got this pineapple fabric. I got the two pineapple fabrics because I was like, maybe I will start making some pineapple quilts for the family. I've got scraps from some of the colors and that, so I'm like, that would probably work. So maybe at some point in the near future, I will have time to make pineapple quilts. The family has to promise to hang the quilts upside right, because apparently upside down means something different. I don't quite understand. Either way, I'm probably too innocent for all of that. Yeah. We then popped into I'm going to call it the next closest shop that I go to. And we were going around, and Candace was looking at one of the quilt kits, really thinking about it, but there wasn't anything there that overly spoke to me. There's some stuff that I'm like, maybe, but there wasn't any overly speaking, so we kind of left empty-handed. The third shop, I knew what I needed was going to be there because I had looked online ahead of time. So what I went there for was this gorgeous cut of spotted in the color tangerine. The reason why I need this is because Fort Worth Fabric Studio is about to do a mystery sew along, and it's going to be a table runner size, and it's called something in glow or glow in something. I am really bad at remembering that. I should have looked it up before I did this video, but I ordered the kit, and I was going through what they suggested for backings, and everything that they had on their site was listed as coming soon. And I understand why it's coming soon, because they need to cut kits before they can allow people to buy backing. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to go shopping up here. So I know it's there, so I went and got it there. So I bought the yardage that I needed for that. And while we were looking there, I saw this fabric, and I was like, I need to have some smiley faces. It seemed kind of appropriate after the day I had Friday. And then I found more smiley faces. So I thought I was doing pretty good between the first three shops. I only spent like $200, and you know, that's a good amount of fabric. Then we went to the last shop, which I'm now starting to think that it is more, how do I say this? Like, more favorite of my shops. They are open a little bit later. Uh, I love everybody's staff equally because they're all awesome. But they just seem to have a different feel of fabric. They don't carry a lot of fabric lines, but what they do carry, I kind of really like. So I was looking, and I'm going to grab these real quick. And I said, ooh, I kind of like these. It really started because Friday night, as I was editing the video, I had noticed that Becca and Ian, they were doing this as a project. Apparently, they're doing it for the first 4 Fridays in September. And I say it that way because she made a comment that September has 5 Fridays. So I was going through these, and they had them as kits. So I purchased this one, and it comes with the fabrics. I actually haven't looked. It looks like it's the fabrics that belong, maybe. I'm assuming that they're the fabrics that belong in this kit. I just can't exactly see this fabric immediately, but I'm going to pretend it's there. This is number 2. And the only reason why I bought them is because they also had number 3. And then they also had number 4. So they had all 4 of them. 2 of them apparently come with pins for some reason. Uncertain why. It was just numbers 1 and... I'm sorry, 2 and... That, okay, I showed them out of order. It's... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is 1. So this one is 1, this block. This block is 2, so it's 1 and 2 that had the pins. And then number 3 is this block. And number 4 is this block. So, don't know when I am starting them, but I do have these in my list of things that I really want to do. I have received one of the Quilt Seeds patterns in the past in a Fort Worth Fabric Studio subscription box. I never did anything with it. So I'm kind of excited for these because they look like they make mini quilts. Not necessarily a full quilt top, but like just a mini quilt to have some fun with the pattern. Now that I'm thinking about it, I now know where that one fabric probably belongs. So yeah, that was good. And then, yeah, I saw a pattern. This pattern. And as I was looking at the back of it, it said that it needed a layer cake or 40 10-inch squares. And I happened to look back where they had the Nantucket Summer fabric, and I was like, I see the jelly roll there. I see a couple fat quarter bundles, but I don't see a layer cake. So obviously at that point, I'm like, I probably really don't need it. So I was going around looking at some stuff again, and as the shop owner was coming one direction, I happened to stop and goes, well, what do I have here? And she didn't understand what the whole concept was, so I had to do the whole conversation about, have the pattern. You do have the layer cake. And she goes, yeah, we have the layer cake. So I had to go to the pattern and purchase everything else, pardon the noise, everything else that goes with it. So, according to the pattern, as I read the back, it says it needs one layer cake, which is going to be this. And it's gorgeous fabrics. I am in love with Nantucket Summer. I was in love with it the first time that it came out. I'm in love with it. I have purchased so many kits this year with Nantucket Summer. Yeah, it's crazy. I needed two navy fat quarters, so I got these two fat quarters. One is like the circles, the other is like a X's or check or whatever we want to call it. It says 2.5 yards of white fabric. So I got the white. I'm sorry, it's cream on cream, and it is this pattern on there. So it's the cream on or white on cream, white on cream, I think they call it. So I got that one. It needs binding fabric, so I got this for the binding. And then finally it said 4 yards of backing, and I chose this fabric as backing. It's one of my favorites. I have another quilt that is backed in this same fabric. So excited for it. So yeah, me intending to only buy 2.25 yards of fabric, I spent quite a few dollars in here, and I was just like, okay, it happens. It's life. I have, a full project kit because, you always need to have. I don't like to do a lot of purchasing of just fabric unless I really, really like it. At the third shop that we went to, there was this steampunk Halloween line that I saw. I was like, I need some of this, but I need a project for it, which that reminds me, I need to go hunt down a project for that so I can order the fabric and have them ship it to me. Because they are in the area, that instead of me driving 45 minutes and then probably like an hour and a half back because 285 sucks. It's a lot simpler for me just to order from them. It ends up being like $5 shipping, and just get the fabric that way. If it's something that I know, I've done it with a handful of other stuff. Like I've even bought just a single yard from them and said, I know I don't need, or I did need that yard for reasons, but I was like, it's cheaper for me to spend the $5 shipping than go through, drive all the way up there, buy that fabric, probably end up spending another like $50 or $75 that I didn't need to spend. So it's simpler that way. But I am very excited with this haul. It helped keep my mind off things. Just a little bit of normalcy to try to get things, to the new normal. Beyond that, it's been a wonderful weekend. I still miss my buddy and everything. I came close to, looking at Homeless Pets Foundation's website, but I was like, no, I can't right now. I've got too many things happening in the next year that it's unfair for a new youngin to come into the household. So it'll probably be another year before I think about adopting another, perfect little bundle of fur. That gives perfect time to heal and everything. So it's going to be probably about that long time. But I had a wonderful time going out there and doing a little bit of shopping, getting some retail therapy in. And like I said, I now have more and more projects that I did not need to be buying, but I've got stuff I can now work on. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. And you too, I give y'all permission to go have some retail therapy. Toodles.